The question is simple. Can you vlog like Casey Neistat using this thing? How does this compare to that? And what do you have to do to get that kind of quality from this camera? So let's compare the two. And I want to get one thing out of the way right from the beginning, and that's the overheating. This is the 70D and it doesn't overheat. You can shoot 1080p 25 full frames until your SD card is full, no questions asked. The Alpha5100 though does overheat, but it's not a deal breaker to vlogging, and here's why. When you're vlogging, when you're trying to create a narrative from the daily activities, the reality is this. Most of the time, your shots are going to be premeditated, which means you have a fairly good idea of when you turn on the camera and when you turn it off and what happens in between. Those kind of shots will make up the bulk of your shots. And for those kind of shots, you do not need extensive recording time. Why? Because you don't want to end up with a lot of footage at the end of the day. You want to end up with good footage. That means two things. One, you are going to be very selective with your shots. Two, your shots won't be very long, because the less you have to edit, the faster you will be done. You will be decisive with your shots, and your shots will be relatively short. So overheating with this thing is not a problem. What you do want when vlogging is to get the shot. And for that, you don't need extensive recording time as well. What you need for that is quick startup time. And this thing is quick. The overheating for vlogging isn't a deal breaker when it comes to the Alpha5100. I did extensive testing on overheating. If you want to check out those videos, I'll link them in the description below. And there's something else very important that I found out. This camera will always give you 4.5 to 5.5 minutes of recording time, even if it did overheat in the previous shot. All that's between you and another 4.5 to 5.5 minutes, even after overheating, is roughly 16 seconds. The time it takes for this thing to power down and power back up. It will give you another approximately 5 minutes interdependent of your circumstances. No matter how hot it is, you're only 16 seconds away, worst case scenario, from another 4.5 to 5.5 minutes of recording time. And since your shots usually will be a lot shorter than that when vlogging, overheating isn't an issue with this thing, even in a worst case scenario. If you do want to do time lapse, better break out your smartphone. And if you have extensive interview situations, you might be better suited with something like this. Let's talk about audio quality. This setup prominently features an external shotgun mic that will do a very good job in picking up your voice when you're talking into the camera. Also, it's connected directly to the camera, which means the high quality audio will automatically be recorded with your video. The Sony Alpha5100 on the other side doesn't have the ability to record from an external audio source. It just lacks the mic input. What you can do though, to have really high quality audio when vlogging with the Sony Alpha, is using an external recorder like I'm doing right now. This is a Zoom H1, it's connected to my lav mic, and later on in post-production I will sync up the high quality audio track with the not so high quality audio track and then just use the high quality one. Here's a little video that shows you how I use my Zoom when vlogging with the Alpha5100 in a convenient way. Selfie screen, tilt and swivel. Selfie screen, tilt. But for vlogging, this is really all you need. Interchangeable lens system. Interchangeable lens system. Autofocus system. The 70D has a great autofocus system. There's no question about it. But the Alpha5100, in my mind, has one that is equally as good, if not better. The autofocusing in this little camera is awesome. 99% of the time, it gets what you want it to get. You pretty much put whatever you want in focus in the center and it puts the focus right there. On top of it, and that's something the Canon doesn't have, the Sony comes with 3 different autofocus speeds. Slow is very good for studio-like shooting like this, when you do focus pulls. Regular pretty much works in the most situations. And fast is what I use when I vlog outside, when things happen quickly and I just want the focus to be there. So, focus system, awesome. For vlogging, especially awesome. Video quality. Now both these cameras have APS-C size sensors in them. When you compare specs, they differ a little, but all in all they're pretty comparable, as is the video quality. The Canon has the better color reproduction, but aside from that, if you don't look too closely, the Sony stands its ground compared to the Canon. So, all in all, video quality of this is slightly better, but the best bang for the buck, that's definitely the Sony. To conclude this video, can you do vlogs like Casey Neistat using an Alpha 5100? Yes, you can, if you're willing to record your audio externally and sync up the tracks later in post-production, and if you can live with the overheating, which, considering vlog type shooting, shouldn't be an issue, like I explained earlier. There's another important factor to consider when you're trying to decide between building a setup around a DSLR like the 70D or around a mirrorless compact camera like the Alpha 5100. With this, you're looking at $1,700. Mic, lens, 70D, Joby Gorilla Pod. If you build a similar setup around the Sony, which is the Sony, its kit lens, an external recorder like the Zoom, a lav mic like the Audio-Technica here, and a smaller version of the Joby Gorilla Pod like the SLR version here, you're looking at $700. So there's a $1,000 difference between these two systems. Although the Canon's video quality is only slightly better, although the audio quality is the same, except the recording and the post-production with the Sony is a little more laborious, but not very much, and although both cameras have an excellent video autofocus system. So if you want to do vlogs like Casey Neistat, but save $1,000 on this setup, all you have to do is be okay with external audio recording and what it comes with concerning post-production and handling, and deal with the overheating, which again, and I sound like a broken record, shouldn't be that much of a problem. I hope this video helped in deciding whether to get an Alpha 5100 or not. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up. Any comments, any feedback, I'm ready to answer, and see you again soon.